Chapter 4683. The Yongye divine monk smiled happily. So, I can't hide my secrets in the following sermon. If it can help Duan Lingtian take that step, it will be a good thing for him and the Bittersea Temple. This is equivalent to giving Duan Lingtian a favor. Monk Yongye, from what you said, could it be that you were hiding something secret when you preached in the past? Zhang Haishan shook his head and smiled. Ha, just kidding. However, since little friend Duan Lingtian is here today, I will tell you in more detail. I hope it can be of help to you and help you to take a step further. The Yongye divine monk also smiled, and then looked at Duan Lingtian with soft eyes, intent on giving him a favor. Of course, he also knew in his heart that if he sent out this favor, the other party might not be able to receive it. However, he still planned to try. Thank you, divine monk Yongye. Duan Lingtian thanked him profusely. Ever since Duan Lingtian easily defeated divine monk Yuhao, among the people of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, he seemed to have replaced Zhang Haishan and become the most dazzling existence. Next, everyone listened quietly to the sermon of the Yongye divine monk. During this process, it was not difficult for Duan Lingtian to feel that the Yongye divine monk was not out of touch just now. He really meant to preach for him. Whenever he talked about the infinite way, the depth of his analysis showed his good intentions. And Duan Lingtian didn't let go of such a good opportunity and listened carefully. Unknowingly, he was fascinated by what he heard and even began to verify it in his mind. Gradually, his understanding of the infinite path gradually became clearer. Deepen, continue to deepen, and then grow more smoothly and break the bottleneck. Done in one go. Wow! Before the end of the Yongye divine monk sermon, Duan Lingtian finally took the next step and successfully understood the infinite path to the 9th level, becoming a 9th level master who has mastered 2 9th level ways. Such existences are also recognized as half-step Hadao and quasi-Hadao. Because, for such a being, as long as he takes one more step forward and the 2 kinds of 9-level Dao merge into one, he will officially enter the united Dao realm. Congratulations, little friend. When Duan Lingtian successfully attracted everyone's attention, before anyone else could react, Yongye divine monk was the first to speak, congratulating Duan Lingtian. At this time, everyone else came to their senses and congratulated Duan Lingtian. Even the representatives from the Kuhai Temple who had been at loggerheads with Duan Lingtian before, all of them congratulated him in a friendly manner, as if they wanted to mend their relationship with Duan Lingtian, including the bald man and an old age. Now that they all realize that Duan Lingtian is not easy to mess with, they will naturally not be stupid enough to offend him. Such a being, even if we cannot be friends, we must not be enemies. In this way, Duan Lingtian successfully took a crucial step. The infinite way entered the 9th level, getting closer and closer to the Hadao realm. Next, he did not return to Jianglan Divine Kingdom with Zhang Haishan and others, but planned to stay for a while. It was said that he wanted to communicate with the Yongye divine monk, but in fact, he wanted to use the Kuhai Temple to the piece of Hadao monument left behind take a look and observe. This was also the condition he proposed to monk Yuhao. The price is that he cannot participate in the next Dao duel between Jianglan Divine Kingdom and Kuhai Temple. With him helping the Jianglan Kingdom, the Kuhai Temple felt that it was invincible and unmatched. They might lose the Hadao monument they were currently promoted to in 1,000 years. Duan Lingtian originally thought that if he listened to the sermons of the Yongye divine monk and his infinite way did not break through, he would put forward the conditions for the Yongye divine monk to continue to preach to him and help his infinite way to enter the 9th level. Now, since a breakthrough has been made, it is natural to change the conditions. Next, Duan Lingtian stayed in the main temple of Kuhai Temple and became a distinguished guest of Kuhai Temple. Zhang Haishan, Hong Dongchuan, and other 4 people returned to Jianglan Divine Kingdom. Dongchuan, do you think that after 1,000 years, Brother Lingtian will still be in the Taoist realm? On the way back, Zhang Haishan couldn't help but ask Hong Dongchuan. It's hard to say. Hong Dongchuan shook his head at first. After all, there are many people who have reached this stage, let alone thousands of years. Even if they spend thousands or tens of thousands of years, they have not been able to enter the Hadao. But, Hong Dongchuan continued, Those people may not be able to compare with Brother Ling Tian in terms of talent and understanding. I have confidence in him, and I think he will enter the Hadao realm within 1,000 years. Zhang Haishan sighed. If this is the case, he won't be able to help us in the Dao duel 1,000 years later. It seems that I have to prepare for a rainy day. It doesn't matter if you lose after 1,000 years. It's like giving back the Hadao monument. If you lose 2 games in a row, you will lose all your foundation. Zhang Haishan's idea was actually shared by Divine Monk Yu Hao. Even when Duan Lingshan's infinite path took a step further, Divine Monk Yu Hao was doubting. Duan Lingtian was confident that he would reach the Hadao realm within 1,000 years, so he readily agreed to his request. However, even if he had such doubts, he would not be able to take back what he said. After all, Duan Lingtian was now worthy of the Kuhai Temple's initiative to befriend him. He did not see that the number 1 person in the Kuhai Temple, the Yongye Divine Monk, regarded him as a forever friend. Duan Lingtian stayed in Kuhai Temple for 3 full years before leaving. When leaving, the Yongye Divine Monk saw him off personally. "Brother, stop it. I will come back to meet you again when I have time in the future." Duan Lingtian said hello, and then withdrew. After leaving the Kuhai Temple and returning to the Jianglan Divine Kingdom, he first went back to Duan Mansion and stayed with his family for a month before heading to the capital to meet the royal family and prepare to inspect one of the 2 Hadao monuments in the hands of the royal family. 1. Here, he also met the Hadao realm ancestor from the royal family of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, who was also quite polite to him and even gave him a sermon in private. However, because the other party's method is not what he is good at, there is not much improvement. "Little friend Ling Tian, please choose one of these 2 Hadao steel," the ancestor of the Hadao realm of Jianglan Divine Kingdom said, letting Duan Lingtian choose. This can be regarded as taking care of Duan Lingtian. You must know that in the past, Zhang Haishan didn't promise to give him the right to choose the Hadao monument. After all, Zhang Haishan couldn't make the decision yet. That's it. There are 2 Hadao tablets. The combined Tao has nothing to do with the Way of Sword and the Infinite Way. Duan Lingtian chose one of the Hadao tablets that contains the Way of Control. Time flies. 20 years passed in the blink of an eye. Boom. On this day, a loud noise that seemed to shake the earth spread in the sky of the royal family in the capital of Jianglan Divine Kingdom. Then all kinds of amazing visions appeared. Not only everyone in Jianglan Divine Kingdom saw it, but even the nearby people saw it. Everyone can see it clearly. In the direction of the Bitter Sea Temple, the Yongye Divine Monk walked out, looked at the astonishing vision in the direction of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, and murmured to himself, "A new Hadao has been born. Could it be my little friend Ling Tian?" Chapter 4684. He broke through so quickly? Zhang Haishan, the 9th level member of the royal family of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, was standing with a middle-aged man with a strong build and a face as beautiful as jade, looking at the center of the vision of heaven and earth. The storm shook with great force and bursts of strange sounds. Echoing in the void, it seems to be telling some mystery. And this scene is not unfamiliar to Zhang Haishan. The people around him had experienced this scene in the past. This is the vision of heaven and earth caused by stepping into Hadao. In the world of gods and earth, the only ones who can cause strange phenomena in the world are those who are strong in Hadao. It is different from the creation chart world where visions of heaven and earth can be seen everywhere, because the rules of the latter are set by the owner of the creation chart. Whatever visions you want it to have, there will be any visions. In the world of divine soil, not only is the space solid and indestructible, even a powerful person who has entered the Tao can hardly tear the space apart, and the visions of heaven and earth are not something you can see even if you want to see them. I didn't expect that his talent and understanding would be so evil. The middle-aged man on the side couldn't help but sigh. He is the Hadao strongman of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, named Jiang Tianzheng, and he is also the highest-ranking person in the royal family of Jianglan Divine Kingdom. Even Zhang Haishan respects him as ancestor, the center of the storm of the heaven and earth vision. Before the vision appeared, the buildings in this area had been destroyed and turned into ruins. A figure sitting cross-legged in the void is looming in the vision of heaven and earth. Astonishingly, he was a young man wearing purple clothes, with a handsome face and an extraordinary temperament. All he could see was his sharp eyebrows and starry eyes. Even if he closed his eyes to rest, he still gave people an invisible oppression, making people dare not look directly at him. At this moment, the entire royal family was alarmed. Boom! Suddenly, there was a loud noise from the sky, as if it was earth-shattering, and then thousands of strange phenomena gathered together, turning into a giant sword in the sky, standing upright on the sky, surrounded by countless small swords, and the number of small swords continued to increase. Even the strange phenomena of heaven and earth that spread around this place were all turned into small swords at this time. Countless small swords in the sky, and the earth condensed and formed, surrounding the giant sword in the sky like stars over the moon. Even as the terrifying aura on the giant sword in the sky became more and more powerful, the number of small swords continued to increase, not only quickly covering the entire Jianglan Divine Kingdom, but also the surrounding areas of Jianglan Divine Kingdom and even the Bitter Sea God. The small half area of the temple was filled with small swords scattered in the air. This is also someone who broke through and entered Hadao. Looking at the vision of heaven and earth at this time, he is combining the way of sword and the way of infinity. Infinite Kendo. Although there are only dozens of powerful Hadao people in the Divine Land world, and there are only 3 people in Jianglan Divine Kingdom and nearby areas at this time, many powerful Taoists guess that there is something new through the vision of heaven and earth in front of them. A strong man in the Hadao realm birth. Even, it can be seen which 2 kinds of Tao are combined to achieve the harmonious state of Tao. Even in the Duan Mansion in Chuzhou City, a group of people were attracted by the vision on the horizon, especially Yu Xiao and Zhaoani, who guessed that this was the birth of the Hadao realm. The Elephant Queen also gasped in unison. Angry, with a look of shock on his face, there was a bit of expectation deep in his eyes. The Hadao realm was a realm they had never heard of in the past 10,000 realms and the land outside the realm. Although they have now entered the 7th level of the Dao, and seem to be not far from the Hadao realm, they are not confident that they can take that step and enter the Hadao realm before their lifespans come to an end. I don't know who the saint is, but he has actually stepped into the realm of harmony. Zhaoani sighed. Neither he nor Yu Xiao connected the vision of heaven and earth in front of them with Duan Lingtian. After all, in their eyes, Duan Lingtian is now just the 8th level of Taoism. The 2 of them did not even know about Duan Lingtian before. Breaking through to the 9th level of the Dao. Although Duan Lingtian came back 20 years ago, he did not mention this matter to them. However, several of his wives knew that he had broken through to the 9th level. Now, after seeing the vision of heaven and earth in front of them and learning that this was the birth of a powerful Hadao in the Jianglan Divine Kingdom, the 4 girls Kier, Huaner, Li Fei, and Feng Tianwu all thought of it in unison. Their husband, Duan Lingtian, is it Brother Tian? Definitely. Jianglan Divine Kingdom has not seen a second Hadao strongman for many years. The person who breaks through now will most likely be Brother Tian. 20 years ago, when Brother Tian left, he said he would attack the Hadao realm. That should be right. During the conversation between the 4 women, there was a hint of excitement in their tone. After all, that is the Hadao realm. After coming to the Divine Land world for a while, they have realized what kind of cultivation realm the Hadao realm is. It is the cultivation realm that stands at the pinnacle of the Divine Earth world. Looking at the entire Divine Earth world, with this cultivation for whom, only a few dozen people. Everyone is a giant in the world of gods and earth. For example, the Hadao level member of the royal family of Jianglan Divine Kingdom is a giant on the side of Jianglan Divine Kingdom. With him, Jianglan Divine Kingdom can continue to be passed on, unless he offends many Hadao level people and is killed together. Otherwise, even if it is other combinations in the Dao realm, as long as they are not sure of killing him at once, they will not dare to attack the Jianglan Kingdom easily. Whoosh! In the main temple of Kuhai Temple, Yongye Divine Monk came out of the air and headed straight to Jianglan Divine Kingdom, preparing to congratulate the strong man who had just broken through to the Hadao realm. In addition, I also want to confirm whether it is Duan Lingtian. Although he guessed it was Duan Lingtian, he didn't dare to be 100% sure until he saw the other party to confirm it thoroughly. In addition to the Eternal Night Divine Monk, in the sea area adjacent to the eastern border of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, on a huge island that looks like a paradise. There is also a person who flies through the air and enters Jianglan Divine Kingdom, heading straight to the vision of heaven and earth. Go away with your heart. I really didn't expect that Jianglan Divine Kingdom would produce another strong man in the Hadao realm. Is it that Jiang Haishan? With his talent, it is logically difficult for him to enter the Hadao realm. Well, just go and take a look and you'll find out. This person is the patron saint of the Qionghai Divine Island, behind the Eastern Sea area of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, and he is also the only Hadao realm powerhouse in Qionghai Divine Island. In the royal family of the capital of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, Hong Dongchuan had also rushed here. After confirming from the Zhanghai Pass that it was Duan Lingtian who broke through, he was also shocked. He never expected that young man so quickly stepped into Hadao territory. How long has it been? The last time he sparred with the other party was only at the 8th level of Hadao realm. Thinking about it carefully, it seemed that it was less than 30 years ago, right? Congratulations to fellow Daoist Duan. When he saw Duan Lingtian open his eyes, the Hadao realm expert from the royal family of Jianglan Divine Kingdom reacted immediately and congratulated him continuously. Please move your fingers and share this website to Facebook so that we can continue to operate. Chapter 4685. Duan Lingtian opened his eyes, and his eyes were filled with light, as bright as the scorching sun on the horizon, making people afraid to look directly at him. Faced with the congratulations of Jiang Tianzheng, a strong man in the Hadao realm of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, Duan Lingtian came to his senses immediately, smiled and nodded at the other party, and said with a friendly smile, "Senior, please protect me." Just now, he was in the process of breaking through the stability. Although he had the power to protect himself, his spiritual consciousness could not detect that Jiang Tianzheng was protecting him. It's just a small thing. Jiang Tianzheng shook his head and said with a smile, "Since you have now entered the Hadao realm, you don't need to call me senior. Just talk about being friends with me. If you think highly of me, just call me Brother Jiang." "Haha. Okay, Brother Jiang." Duan Lingtian smiled cheerfully, with great pride. After breaking through to the Hadao, he only felt that the way he looked at the world in front of him was different, except for the normal scenery he could see in the past. And you can still see the looming horizon, like the rainbow dragon's infinite sword. That's the way he fits. This road belongs to an old road, which is covered with devastation, but it contains a heart-stopping ancient atmosphere of vicissitudes of life, as if it is a mystery from ancient times, mysterious and unpredictable. The path of harmony is to step on the path of harmony, fighting with others and fighting with heaven. If the Tao is too bad, it will be like hanging in the air with no place to stay. When fighting with others, you will naturally be at a disadvantage. If the path you follow is a path that no one has ever walked before, then it is a new path. The pioneers of the new way, when they first enter the Hadao realm, their strength is unmatched by those who are in the Hadao realm of the old way, because the Tao is new and will help them even more. On this point, before Duan Lingtian made his breakthrough, he had heard it said by the Hadao realm eternal knight divine monk from Kuhai Temple. To put it simply, the road is not broken yet, and we can move forward smoothly. The old road is generally a bad road. It has been trampled over and over by people who have followed this road in various eras. Basically, every time a move is made, the road will be more consumed and devastated. When a strong Hadao man takes action, his greatest reliance is the power of Hadao, and this power of Hadao comes from the combined Tao. The strength in the body of a strong Taoist has not changed at all compared to the 9th level of the Tao. Breakthrough is no longer like the past. It is a qualitative change of the power in the body. This time, the power has not undergone a qualitative change, not even a change. There is only one thing that has changed. That is, the Tao that I have performed in the past has been substantial, transformed. I can take advantage of the more powerful it is given after its substantialization. With the power, take action against the enemy. The soul level has changed qualitatively. After joining the Tao, only the soul is improved, and the power in the body is still the power of entering the 9th level of the Tao. In fact, if you don't use the power of Hadao and only use the remaining 10,000 ways that have not yet been combined, you can't even defeat the normal 9th level of Tao. Of course, it is impossible for a strong Hadao man to take action without using the power of Hadao. If the Tao is borrowed too much from others, it is the same as the road being blocked by others. The strength that can be borrowed is not too strong. This is also the reason why the old way is not as good as the new way. However, it is not an easy task to join the new way. Otherwise, no one would choose to take shortcuts. For example, if the new owner or the old owner of the creation life chart wants to rely on the captive creatures in the creation life chart, the way of life sacrifice is a shortcut. The way of sacrifice is one of the most special ways among all the ways. It is impossible for ordinary people to come into contact with it, let alone understand and master it. Only the owner of the creation chart can understand it. This kind of Tao, no matter what kind of Tao it is combined with, the Tao that is born is a new Tao. In addition to this, the three paths merge into one, which is basically the new path. Because, without exception, the strong people who can embark on the integration of three paths are all talented people in the world of gods and earth. Their talents and understanding are astonishing. Even when two paths are combined, they can only follow the old path. When they take the third path, when it comes to Tao, it is inevitable he will also choose a way that can combine with the original two to form a new way. In the world of gods and earth, any strong person who combines three ways will be remembered in history. It is no secret which three ways they use to combine the three ways. Infinite Sword Tao. In the past history of the divine earth world, many people have practiced it. Even now, according to what the Yongye divine monk said in the past, among the dozens of powerful Hadao masters in the contemporary divine earth world, there is still one who has practiced it. Also Infinite Kendo. After laughing, Duan Lingtian sighed secretly at the thought. Congratulations, Your Majesty. I have met Your Majesty. At this time, Zhang Haishan and Hong Dongchuan on the side bowed to Duan Lingtian, their voices full of awe. In the world of gods and earth, once you step into the Hadao realm, you are truly the most powerful person. A strong Hadao man, placed anywhere in the world of gods and earth, can be a king and hegemon. At this level, he can travel anywhere in the world of gods and earth, even if he encounters a Hadao who is stronger than himself. Even if he is defeated, he can escape. If Hadao wants to kill Hadao, he will not be able to escape unless the strength gap is huge, or he finds an ingenious opportunity. Yes, otherwise it would be difficult to achieve. People in the world of gods and earth, when they meet a powerful person in the Hadao realm, they all respectfully call them venerable. Once you step into the Hadao realm, you can be called the honor of the divine land world. No matter how casual Hong Dongchuan was in front of Duan Lingtian in the past, he was not Duan Lingshan's best friend all the way. The moment Duan Lingtian entered the Hadao realm, he realized from the bottom of his heart that he and his opponent the gap between parties. Unless he can step into Hadao in his lifetime, he will never be able to look at Duan Lingtian with the same eyes he used to look at Duan Lingtian. Duan Lingtian also knew this, so he didn't say much, smiled and nodded to the two of them, and continued to meditate. Seeing this, the two of them didn't dare to disturb them. Even Jiang Tianzheng continued to stand aside with a smile, looking very patient. Jiang Tianzheng. Not long after, a voice came from the eastern sky. It was not loud, but it was extremely concentrated. Only Jiang Tianzheng and Duan Lingtian beside him could hear it. Hearing this voice, Duan Lingtian came back to his senses and looked to the east above the clouds in the sky. His spiritual consciousness swept out, and he could feel that the spiritual consciousness that was not weaker than his was sweeping and colliding, which made him feel a tremble in his heart. Another Hadao strong man. Moreover, it is certain that he is not the eternal night monk from the Kuhai temple. Soon, a figure came from the east sky and appeared in front of Duan Lingtian. But it was a young man wearing a green robe, handsome in appearance, holding a folding fan in his hand, looking like a handsome young man. Zhou Qingchuan. Jiang Tianzheng stared at the other party with lightning-like eyes, smiled calmly and said, I didn't expect that even a lazy person like you would come to our Jianglan Divine Kingdom to join in the fun. Chapter 4686. Zhou Qingchuan. Although this is the first time Duan Lingtian has met this person, it is not the first time he has heard of him. Whether it was the Yongye divine monk, a powerful Hadao realm expert from Kuhai Temple, or Jiang Tianzheng, a Hadao realm powerhouse from Jianglan Divine Kingdom. They all told him about this person. This person is the first person on the Qionghai Divine Island east of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, and he is also a strong man in the Hadao realm. In the area surrounding Jianglan Divine Kingdom, there are only 3 powerful people in the Hadao realm, so the 3 of them usually stay close to each other, and they often take the time to visit and discuss the Dao. Haha, Lao Jiang, your Jianglan Divine Kingdom is so awesome. Yet another Hadao realm person has appeared. Zhou Qingshan laughed, and his eyes quickly fell on Duan Lingtian. He still has a strange face. However, it's not what I expected, because I thought it was unlikely to be Jiang Haitian before. Jiang Haitian is still far away from Hadao. On hearing this, Jiang Haitian on the side smiled bitterly, but did not dare to say anything more. Speaking of which, Zhou Qingshan was still a figure of his generation. Whether compared with his ancestor Jiang Tianzheng or the Yongye divine monk from the Bitter Sea Temple, he was much younger. When he was young, he was overwhelmed by the opponent. At first, he wanted to chase the opponent, but after chasing him, he couldn't even see the opponent's back. Nowadays, the other party is as famous as their ancestors of the royal family of Jianglan Kingdom. This person, in fact, cannot be completely regarded as a monk from our Jianglan Divine Kingdom. Jiang Tianzheng smiled and said, he can only be considered as half of Jianglan Divine Kingdom at best. It is also our Jianglan Divine Kingdom's good luck that he happened to come to us. Oh. After hearing Jiang Tianzheng's words, Zhou Qingshan looked at Duan Lingtian with surprise. Listen to what you said. Could this newly promoted fellow Taoist come from the world in the creation chart? A few years ago, the new owner of the creation life chart was discovered and seriously injured, and even the creation life chart was severely damaged. He knew this. Of course, the incident did not happen near Qionghai Island, so he was not involved. Otherwise, those who are targeting the new owner of the creation chart will inevitably invite him to participate in the extermination of evil. Yes, this brother Duan Lingtian comes from the world in the creation chart. Jiang Tianjing nodded. Zhou Qingshan's eyes lit up, and he raised his hands to Duan Lingtian. Fellow Taoist Duan. Zhou Qingshan is being polite. Fellow Taoist Zhou. Duan Lingtian returned the greeting and then started chatting with the other party when the other party intentionally spoke to him. Knowing that Duan Lingtian still had relatives and friends living abroad, Zhou Qingshan repeatedly promised that he would have people spread the news about Duan Lingtian widely within the Qionghai Divine Island, so that Duan Lingshan's relatives and friends who may exist on the Qionghai Divine Island can be found in the first place. Time returns to Duan Lingtian. He would help send someone to bring them back. When Duan Lingtian heard this, he immediately thanked him repeatedly. Although Qionghai Divine Island is located in the eastern area of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, due to the harsh environment of the surrounding sea areas, it is dangerous to cross the sea alone in ordinary ways. As a result, there is not much communication with the outside world, and most people live in a paradise state. Because of this, although Duan Lingtian has long been famous in Jianglan Divine Kingdom and surrounding areas, Zhou Qingshan, who is on Qionghai Divine Island, has never heard of him. Otherwise, if someone here breaks through to the Hadao realm this time, he will definitely be able to pass. Duan Lingtian is good at 10,000 ways, and he guessed it on Duan Lingtian. Duan Lingtian, Zhou Qingshan, and Jiang Tianzheng gathered together to chat, while Jiang Haishan and Hong Dongchuan stood aside silently and respectfully. Congratulations to fellow Taoist Duan. Soon, the travel-worn Yongye divine monk also arrived. Although he had guessed that more than 90% of the people who broke through were Duan Lingtian before he came here, it was not until he saw Duan Lingtian with his own eyes that he finally confirmed it. Duan Lingtian made a breakthrough, and the Yongye divine monk's name for him changed from little friend to fellow Taoist. Fellow Taoist Duan, although it is a good thing that you have entered Hadao, I still want to remind you, the Yongye divine monk said with a solemn expression. Although there are only a few dozen people in the Hadao realm in the world of gods and earth, before you break through, there is still one person who is also the Hadao swordsman and the infinite way. In the Hadao realm, if they are combined with the same Tao, once they attack at the same time, they will not be able to fully utilize the power of Hadao. Because of this, it is difficult to become friends even if you don't become enemies when you combine the same two ways. As the Youngya divine monk finished speaking, Jiang Tiansheng's expression became solemn. Not to mention the Youngya divine monk, I almost forgot about that person. At the same time, even Zhou Qingshan, who originally had a gentle smile on his face, could not help but tighten his face and his eyes became serious. Three of you, what are you? Duan Lingtian looked puzzled, wondering why the three of them were acting like this. Fellow Taoist Duan, Zhou Qingshan said in a deep voice, before you, there was another person in the world of gods and earth who also practiced the infinite swordsmanship. You must also know that if the contract is in the Hadao realm of the same Tao and exists in the same era at the same time, it would be fine if we don't take action at the same time. If we do it at the same time, it will affect the performance of the other party. If one of them fights to the death with others, and the other person robs part of the power of Hadao at the same time, the opponent's offensive will be weakened, and they may even be defeated or even killed. As Zhou Qingshan finished speaking, Duan Lingshan's brows also wrinkled. So, not only will he affect another person in the world of God and earth who joins the infinite swordsmanship, but the other party will also affect him? Isn't this a natural enemy? If he is the only one, you don't need to be afraid of him, fellow Taoist Duan. But the problem is, that man's grandfather is still alive, and he is one of the only three strong men in the Hadao realm who can combine the three ways in the world of gods and earth. Jiang Tianzheng looked at Duan Lingtian and warned, Brother, why don't you go out and hide? I'm worried that that person can't think of anything for a moment and brings his grandfather to deal with you. If he is alone, he may not be able to deal with you, but he can be added that grandfather, even if you are lucky enough to escape. I'm afraid you won't feel well. Injured once and targeted a second time, it might be the end of life or death. In the world of gods and earth, although strong people in the Hadao realm are rarely killed by others, it is not that no one is killed. As Jiang Tianzheng finished speaking, Youngya divine monk also gave Duan Lingtian the same advice. Zhou Qingshan also advised him from the side, Fellow Taoist Duan, you should hide and avoid the limelight. The meaning expressed by the three people was very obvious. There was no way to make enemies of those two people for Duan Lingtian. What they could do was to help Duan Lingtian prepare for a rainy day and let Duan Lingtian hide early so as not to be caught by the other party. Duan Lingtian was speechless for a while, but he couldn't help but feel a little angry in his heart. He thought that after entering the Hadao realm, he would stand at the pinnacle of the world of gods and earth and not be afraid of anyone. Who would have known that just after this breakthrough, he would learn that he might suffer an unexpected disaster? The Hadao realm of the three Das. For a moment, Duan Lingshan's face became unsightly, but deep in his eyes, there was a cold and fierce light flashing. Chapter 46-87. In the world of gods and earth, the most powerful ones are those who combine the three realms. Next, there are the newer combined Tao realm experts who combine two Tao and the harmonious Tao. Although Duan Lingtian has also entered the Hadao realm, the infinite sword way he has joined belongs to the old path that many people in the world of gods have walked. It is now dilapidated, so the power of Hadao that he can draw on is limited. In this case, there are still people who want to compete with him for the power of harmony. Not to mention that the other party would be unhappy. Even he himself would be unhappy. Do you want to destroy me? I still want to kill you. However, after learning that the other party was not only a member of Hadao, but also a grandfather of Hezendeo behind him, and might even lead his grandfather to attack him, Duan Lingshan's heart sank, and at the same time, he also felt a sense of conflict deep in his heart. Quantity of yearning. In the third path, he must merge into the infinite sword path. The way of control, integrating the three ways of infinite swordsmanship and combining them. No one has ever taken this path in the history of the world of gods and earth. Now, his control has reached the 8th level, which is comparable to that of Old Man Wukong back then. As long as he steps further to the 9th level, he can embark on the path of combining the three ways. I hope he will be wiser and not mess with me. Otherwise, even if he has a grandfather who combines three ways, I will kill him. Duan Lingshan's eyes flashed with murderous intent. He has never been a submissive person. Otherwise, he would not have achieved what he has today. Most of his cultivation and promotion path was accomplished by force. Taking a deep breath, Duan Lingtian looked at Jiang Tianzheng and asked about that person's situation. After learning that the man behind him was also an ancient family with a great business, Duan Lingtian felt relieved. In this way, he didn't worry about the other party being angry with his family and friends if they couldn't catch him. Jiang Tianzheng and the other three also bluntly said that the other party has more wives and children than Duan Lingtian, and they are not in the Hadao realm without any worries. Moreover, if the competition between the Hadao realm involves the other party's relatives and friends, it will anger the rest of the world of gods and earth. A strong man in the Hadao realm who has a family and a sect. After all, no one wants a strong person in the same situation to break this bottom line. It couldn't be easier for a strong person in the Hadao realm to really go crazy and want to kill the family, friends, or even disciples of another strong person in the Hadao realm. Brother, if you are worried, bring your family and friends to the imperial city. Here, as long as I am here, I can take care of them. Jiang Tianzheng said bluntly. Thank you very much, Brother Jiang. Duan Lingtian thanked him repeatedly. He also felt that this was safer, and even if he did not plan to hide, he would not continue to stay in Jianglan Divine Kingdom. Because, the moment he stepped into the Hadao realm, he faintly felt the atmosphere of his former homeland. He knew that it should be the breath of the wounded creation life. This surprised him, because, as far as he knew, the new owner of the creation life chart was the Tiandao of the former world and the land outside the world. He was a strong man in the Hadao realm. After being besieged, he narrowly escaped death and brought him to the world. Escaped with the damaged creation chart, there was no news from him until the day he was born, and his whereabouts have not been found to this day. But now, he can sense where the other person is. To be precise, it is the location of the creation chart. Is it possible that because I am a life born from the world created in the creation chart, I can sense the direction of home after I step into the Hadao realm? Duan Lingtian could only explain it in his mind like this. Apart from that, he really couldn't figure out why he could sense that aura after breaking through the Hadao. Therefore, after settling his family and friends, he planned to visit the hiding place of the new owner of the creation chart. Now, not many years have passed since the last time the other party was seriously injured. Even if the opponent was stronger than him in his heyday, his injuries may not have healed now. As long as he is still injured, he is not afraid of the opponent. Let's see if we can the creation life chart. Duan Lingtian is not very interested in the way of life sacrifice that can be understood after getting the creation life chart. He wants to get the creation life chart because he wants to see if his former hometown of Wanjia, the land outside the world, can still exists. The last time, the new owner of the creation life ban was besieged. He was in the world and saw the world collapse with his own eyes, and he was also thrown out of that world. In addition, while being thrown out, he also saw the Tower of Babel shattered. It seems that all the gods who were in the Tower of Babel at that time had been eliminated by the new owner of the creation life chart. In other words, it has become the other party's food and nourishment. I hope that the world of the 10,000 realms and the land beyond the boundary will still be there. Although the world of the divine land is good, it is still not as good as the homeland. Even if Duan Lingtian has reached this point, he still cannot forget his homeland. If he has the chance, he still wants to go back to your hometown to live, practice, spend time with your family, and be quiet, sit quietly and watch the clouds roll and relax. In the past, he had thought that if he could step into the Hadao realm, he would see if there was a chance to obtain the creation life chart, reopen his homeland, and let his family and friends, as well as those who wanted to return to the original world and the land outside the world, creatures, all one get up and go back. Of course, he didn't tell the three great unions in front of him about being able to sense the breath of the creation life chart. Once you say it, it will definitely cause trouble. The existence of the creation chart is too sensitive for Hadao in the world of gods and earth. He could even foresee that if he could really obtain the creation chart, once the news spreads, even if he did not practice the way of life sacrifice, those in the world of gods and earth would not be able to let him go. To be precise, it is impossible to let go of the creation chart. Fellow Taoist Youngya, fellow Taoist Joe, then I will go pick up my family and friends first. We will get together again when we have the opportunity. After saying hello to the Youngya divine monk and Zhou Qingshan, Duan Lingshan's figure disappeared in a flash. At the same time, on the infinite sword path on the horizon, an undercurrent surged, sweeping all the way towards Chuzhou. After entering the Hadao realm, Duan Lingtian used the power of Hadao to return to the sky above Duan Mansion in Chuzhou City within a short time. Is that person also borrowing power? When he was approaching Chuzhou City, Duan Lingtian could feel that the power of infinite sword Dao was being borrowed by someone else. It was not difficult to guess that it was the one who had mastered it just like him. Those who practice unlimited swordsmanship are also borrowing the skills of unlimited swordsmanship. The power of harmony. In a place extremely far away from Jianglan Divine Kingdom, in an ancient city that is located deep in the mountains and looks like a giant beast, a figure stands in the sky. The looming sword light roars around it. It is very sharp. The terrifying sword intent sweeps across all directions, making people afraid to approach. This is a young man wearing a green robe. He has a resolute face and a superb temperament, but his brows are furrowed together at this moment. There are actually people who have entered the Hadao realm with unlimited swordsmanship? Although there were strange phenomena when he entered the Hadao realm, when Duan Lingtian broke through, the strange phenomena also swept across the area near Jianglan Divine Kingdom. This place was far away and could not be seen. In addition, the news has not reached here yet, so this person only guessed that someone had joined the Infinite Way in Kendo and entered the Hadao realm by discovering that others were also borrowing the power of the Infinite Kendo. This is undoubtedly a huge bad thing for him. Who is it? The green-robed young man's face was gloomy, with murderous intent in his eyes, looking at the world of the eyes and earth. Among those who are hopeful of joining the Tao realm, who doesn't know that I am joining the Tao of infinite swordsmanship? How dare you combine the Infinite Way and the Sword Way to enter the Combined Way realm? You think I'm easy to bully? Chapter 4688. The world of Divine Land is so big and vast that even a strong person in the Hadao realm can travel at full speed and circle around the world of Divine Earth. Even without considering the obstacles that may be encountered on the way, it will not take more than a few months. There is no way to finish the walk. Even Duan Lingtian, a newly promoted Hadao, only took less than a quarter of an hour to return from Jiangzhou, where the capital of Jianglan Divine Kingdom is, to Chuzhou City, where Duan Mansion is located. It can be seen that the Hadao realm is strong. Speed so fast and outrageous. To the north of the Jianglan Divine Kingdom is the endless sword territory, and to the east and south are the boundless seas. After the eastern sea is the Qionghai Divine Island, and there is land a long way after the southern sea area. The land there is far away from the Jianglan Divine Kingdom. It is better than walking 10 times around the 4 borders of Jianglan Divine Kingdom. Even if Jianglan Divine Kingdom, Endless Sword Domain, Qionghai Divine Island and Bitter Sea Temple located to the west of Jianglan Divine Kingdom are put together, they are actually just a corner in the world of Divine Land. Although there used to be 3 major Hideos here, and there were only a few dozen Hideos in the world of gods and earth. However, the reason why the 3 major Hideos gathered here is because this area is suitable for human survival, and they all like to be here. Biananjia, even if it is an outsider coming from some dangerous place outside, staying here for a while, also unwilling to leave. In the world of the gods, there are shocking crises lurking in many places. Of course, after a crisis, there are often some chance encounters. Practitioners who emerge from desperate situations and understand a certain Tao that they have never come into contact with before are everywhere in the world of gods and earth. The Wanshan family is a family that has been passed down for countless years in the Wanshan domain of the Divine Land world. In the contemporary world of the Divine Earth, it is one of the top forces. Just because Wanshan Qin's Shuanghe Dao, one of them, He Dao, is one of the only few strong men in the world of God and Earth who can combine the 3 Dao. Grandfather, there is someone who follows the path of infinity and swordsmanship. He wants to steal my power of Ha Dao. I want to kill him. The young man wearing a green robe is also one of the 2 contemporary Hadao masters of the Wanshan Qin family. One of them, Qin Mingho, took the initiative to find his grandfather, another Hadao strongman of the Wanshan Qin family, a Hadao who was more powerful than him, the powerful master of the 3 paths. What? After hearing his grandson's words, Chen Jiuxiao, who looked like a middle-aged man, couldn't help but frown. looking at the entire world of gods and earth. Who doesn't know that your path of harmony is the path of infinity and Kendo? Even if some people have deeper attainments in the first two paths, in order to avoid you when they attack the combined path, they will choose to comprehend another path and combine with the infinite path or the sword path. How dare you forcefully merge the infinite way and the sword way into the combined way? Are you trying to make enemies of our Wanshanshan family? When the words fell, Chun Jiuxio's eyes were filled with murderous intent, and his face seemed to be covered with a layer of frost in an instant. Even if you don't fear his grandson, you should still worry about him, right? Even if you don't give him face as a grandson, you dare to ignore him? Do you know who it is? Chun Jiuxiao asked in a deep voice. Qin Mingho shook his head. We don't know yet. It will probably take some time before we know who he is. Good. Chun Jiuxiao nodded, a cold light raging in his eyes. When I know who he is, if I have a chance, I will take action. If you and I join forces, even if we can't save him the first time, we will definitely be able to save half of his life. As long as we can find him again within a short period of time, he will definitely die. Chun Jiuxiao is still very confident about his own strength. After receiving his grandfather's approval, Qin Mingho's expression relaxed a lot, and at the same time he changed the topic and asked, Grandpa, is there any news recently about the new owner of the creation chart, Yuluaha? No. Chun Jiuxiao shook his head and sighed. That guy cherishes his life very much. Not only did he use the life-saving means that we had prepared long ago when we surrounded him last time, but he even took away the creation life chart. Got it. As soon as he left, I knew it wouldn't be that easy to catch him again. Now it seems that it is indeed the case. After hearing this, Qin Mingho also sighed. It would be great if we could find him in private and steal the creation chart. If only our grandfather and grandson could find him in the present on the basis of the Tao, combined with the Tao of living sacrifice, the world of gods and earth will be restored. Who is the opponent of our grandfather and grandson? As he spoke, Qin Mingho couldn't help but reveal a bit of greed in his eyes. It's easier said than done. Chun Jiuxiao shook his head. Although everyone shouts about the way of living sacrifice, in fact, how many of those guys don't want to take that way? It's just that they don't want anyone to take that way. So we all choose to intercept that one, the right way. After all, the way of living sacrifice is not only a rare way among all the ways, but also a way that no one has practiced in the world of gods and earth. This kind of Tao, once the combination is successful, the power of the combination it promotes can be imagined. In the world of gods and earth, how many people have reached the level of cultivation that is the Hadao realm and do not ignore the common people? Do you really think that everyone is compassionate and compassionate? Isn't it because everyone is rushing to attack the owner of the creation chart because they are worried that others will use the creation chart to get ahead of them? Not only was he involved in the siege and killing of the new owner of the creation life chart, but he was also involved in the past action of besieging and killing the old owner of the creation life chart. However, at that time, he had not yet joined the third path and was only in the world of gods and earth. One of the Chenghido. To kill the old master of the creation life chart, he relied entirely on a few other strong men who combined the three paths. It's a good thing you didn't mention this. You suddenly mentioned this, and I remembered something. Chun Jiuxio's eyes flashed. Back then, before the old owner of the creation life band was besieged and killed, we heard each other mention it. In the creation world, there are also beings with the same strength as the ninth level of the Tao, but they all became him. The nourishment not only helped him to enter the ninth level of the way of life sacrifice, but was even about to successfully merge with the way. That time, there was no life left in the world of creation and horoscope. But this time, the creation life chart was damaged, and many creatures from the creation life chart world fled to the divine land world. Among them, there are probably some who are comparable to the ninth level of the Tao. The new Hadao who joins the infinite Kendo you were talking about doesn't come from the world of the creation life plan, right? After coming to the world of gods and earth, he successfully merged with the Tao. If that's the case, he doesn't know that you are combining the infinite way and sword Tao, and he doesn't know that combining infinite sword Tao will offend you and offend our Wanshanshan family, so it's normal. Hearing this, Chun Mingho also felt that this was possible, but his murderous intent remained unabated. Regardless of whether he knows my existence or not, he must die. If he doesn't die, someone will always be able to steal the power of unlimited swordsmanship from me. Chapter 4689. The Wanshan Chen sect is the absolute dominant force in the Wanshan domain, and is even one of the top forces in the entire Divine Land world. With such a force, the intelligence department under their control is naturally not mediocre. About half a month later, the intelligence department of the Wanshan Chen family found out that a new Hadao had appeared in the distant Jianglan kingdom. Calculating the time, it should be one of their ancestors of the Wanshan Chen family who was keen on the new one. I asked about a strong man in the Hadao realm who joins the infinite swordsmanship. Jianglan Divine Kingdom? Reverse Divine Sword, Duan Lingtian? From the creation chart world? When the two Hadao members of the Wanshan Chen family, Qin Zhouxiao and Qin Mingho, learned about the information about the new Hadao, they got together again. Grandpa, it seems that as you guessed, the newly promoted Hadao really comes from the world of creation and destiny. Qin Mingho spoke in a deep voice, with murderous intent deep in his eyes. It's actually not hard to guess, Qin Zhouxiao said calmly. If you don't say anything else, I will just tell you that I am walking the same path as you. Not many Taoist monks in the world of gods and earth would dare to do this kind of thing. After all, that would offend our Wanshan Chen family. Only visitors from another world, from the world of creation and natal charts, would embark on this path without knowing it. And even when newborn calves are not afraid of tigers. However, whether he did it intentionally or not, since it has affected you, naturally you can't keep him. I will go with you to the Jianglan Divine Kingdom and try to kill him. Even if I can't kill him, I will seriously injure him. In this way, as long as he can be found out in a short time, he can be killed. Hearing Chun Jiuxiao's words, Chun Mingho's eyes lit up and a cruel smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Visitors from another world? Duan Lingtian from the inverse god realm? If you want to blame it, just blame it on you for accidentally embarking on the same path as me. Otherwise, there will definitely be a place for you in this world of gods and earth. It's a pity that you have offended me and our Wanshan Chen family. Even if you step into the Hadao realm, you are bound to die. Soon, Qin Zhouxiao and Qin Mingho left the Wanshan Chen family, left the Wanshan domain, and went directly to Jianglan Divine Kingdom. Wanshan domain was some distance away from Jianglan Divine Kingdom, but at their speed, they arrived at Jianglan Divine Kingdom in just a few days, and went to the capital of Jianglan Divine Kingdom as soon as possible. Because of the news they received, although Duan Lingshan's Duan Mansion used to be in Chuzhou City, after he was promoted to the Hadao realm, it was moved to the capital of Jianglan Divine Kingdom. Duan Lingtian. In the sky above Duan Mansion in the capital, Qin Mingho stood alone in the sky, overlooking the ground below. The sound was transmitted, not only throughout the Duan Mansion, but even spread throughout the entire capital. I am Qin Mingho, member of the Wanshan Chen family. I'm here this time to invite you to a battle to determine the future ownership of infinite swordsmanship. As Qin Mingho finished speaking, the Duan Mansion was shaken up and down. A strong man from the Hadao realm comes to your door? Before that, everyone in the Duan family also knew that Duan Lingtian had been promoted to Hadao and became one of the only dozens of Hadao realm experts in the world of gods and earth. Everyone was surprised by this, because in this way, they would be in this divine land. Earth world, you can also survive in a better and superior way. Unexpectedly, less than a month after moving here, another Hadao realm strongman came to the door and invited Duan Lingtian to fight with him. Hong Mansion. Hearing the sound, Hong Dongquan's expression changed slightly. It's Qin Mingho. He's here so soon? Although Hong Dongquan has only entered the 8th level of the Dao, as an aboriginal of the Divine Land world, at his level, he is also very familiar with the strong ones in the Hadao realm. Qin Mingho is the Hadao realm achieved by combining the Infinite Way and the Sword Way into one. After knowing that Duan Lingtian also entered the Hadao realm with these two methods, he also felt that Duan Lingtian would offend Qin Mingho, and Qin Mingho might even come to trouble Duan Lingtian. But he didn't expect it to come so soon. Royal Compound. Zhang Haishan frowned. As the patron saint of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, Zhang Tianzheng and Duan Lingtian stepped into Hadao realm, the only Hadao realm in Jianglan Divine Kingdom. At this time, They also walked out of the royal courtyard. In the blink of an eye, Feng Su Yufeng arrived near Chen Mingho. Confront it and stand. Jiang Tianzheng? The strong men in the Hadao realm who were both in the world of gods and earth naturally knew each other. Chen Mingho nodded to Jiang Tianzheng and said hello. I am here for you, Jiang Lan, the newly promoted Hadao Duanling Tianer of the Kingdom of God. Come on. It has nothing to do with you. Although he might not be Jiang Tiansheng's opponent if they really wanted to fight, it would not be easy for Jiang Tianzheng to defeat him. Moreover, there is a strong man from the three ways beside him hiding in the dark, waiting for an opportunity. Fellow Daoist Chun, I have no intention of interfering in the matter between you and Duanling Tian. Jiang Tianzheng shook his head and smiled. I came here to tell you that Duanling Tian is no longer in Jianglan Divine Kingdom. He left Jianglan Divine Kingdom with several of his close relatives more than half a month ago. Are you afraid that it's too late? Hearing this, Chen Mingho frowned and his expression sank. At the same time, the tyrannical consciousness swept out and enveloped the entire Duan mansion, and indeed no trace of Duanling Tian was found. For a moment, his face turned ugly. At the same time, he looked at Jiang Tianzheng with an unkind look and said in a deep voice, Jiang Tianzheng, before Ling Tian stepped into the Hadao realm, he might not have known that there was me in the world of gods and earth, who was also Hadao of the infinite sword. It was you who told him of? His departure was also because of your reminder? Facing Chen Mingho's almost interrogative inquiry, Jiang Tiansheng's brows instantly furrowed. Although he did not want to provoke Chen Mingho and had no intention of becoming an enemy of the Wanshanshan family behind Chen Mingho, it did not mean that he was afraid of Chen Mingho. Both are Hadao, and because Hadao is newer, he is stronger than Chen Mingho. If he hadn't been afraid that there was a strong man behind Hadao, Chen Mingho would have made a strong move long ago based on Chen Mingho's current attitude. Already. Now, although he would not take action, he still said in a cold tone, Chen Mingho, it's best not to talk nonsense without evidence. In the world of gods and earth, we know that you, Chen Mingho, are in the infinite sword Dao. Do you think you are the only one in the He Dao realm? In the world of gods and earth, among all the beings above the 7th level of the Dao, except for those who have no information, who doesn't know that you, Chen Mingho, are practicing the infinite sword Dao? Chen Mingho was about to speak, but someone spoke before him. Fellow Daoist Jiang, it was my grandson who took the liberty. How about I apologize to you on his behalf? Accompanied by a powerful voice, it was Chen Zhouxiao who had been hiding in the dark just now, confirming that Duanling Tian was not outside the capital of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, and he no longer needed to hide. Jiang Tiansheng's brows moved slightly. As expected, this old is here too. Chapter 4690. I've met Senior Chun. Although he secretly scolded the other party for being insidious and being in the three-way Hadao realm, he was still hiding in the dark waiting for an opportunity to attack. But on the surface, Jiang Tianjing greeted the other party with a friendly face. I said that fellow Daoist Qian has such a bad temper. I bet it was Senior Chun who came here with him. As for apology, there is no need. Even though they were both in the Hadao realm, Jiang Tianzheng was not a match for the Chen Zhouxiao in front of him, because he knew that the other party would not team up with Chen Mingho to attack him because of such a trivial matter. Moreover, with his strength, it is possible to return the whole body at the cost of minor injuries. However, once the two of them take action against him, they will fight him to the death, and they will really fight with their lives. At worst, the lives of the entire royal family of the Jianglan Divine Kingdom will be exchanged for the restlessness of the Chen family in Wanshan. Of course, he knew that the other party would not take action against him. After all, there was no interest dispute between him and the other party. A mere verbal conflict does not rise to the level of a life and death fight. This time, the two men came to see Duanling Tian simply because Duanling Tian embarked on the path of the infinite sword Dao and had a conflict of interest with Chen Mingho, so they wanted to deal with Duanling Tian. For the strength of Chen Mingho and the strength of the Wanshanshan family, it is normal for them to want to eradicate Duanling Tian. It's a pity that the two of them came to nothing. Before that, he had warned Duanling Tian with the person from the Bitter Sea Temple and the Qionghai Divine Island, so that Duanling Tian had already left long ago. Duanling Tian was even worried about the safety of his close relatives, and even brought out his close relatives. Went for resettlement. In this regard, he actually felt that Duan Lingtian was a little too cautious, because he was sure that as long as Duan Lingtian did not die, even if Duan Lingshan's close relatives stayed here, the two members of the Wanshanshan family would never be able to do anything to Duan Lingtian. Start with your loved ones. Once they do that, they will become the public enemies of the world of gods and earth. In that case, let's take our leave first. Chen Jiuxiao took a deep look at Jiang Tianzheng and then left with Chen Mingho. While leaving, Chen Mingho said in a deep voice, "Grandpa, that Ling Tian came from the creation life plan world. He may not know that I master the infinite sword Dao, and he may not know that you and I will take action against him after he is promoted to He Dao." It must have been Jiang Tianzheng who tipped off the news. He felt that if Jiang Tianzheng hadn't tipped off the news, Duan Lingtian might not have been able to take such precautionary measures without leaking anything. So what? Chen Jiuxiao said calmly. If he doesn't admit this kind of thing, how can we press his head and make him admit it? Don't forget, he is also a Hadao, and he is a Hadao who is stronger than you. Unless this kind of person can be killed directly, once he becomes an enemy, it will be harmful to our Wanshanshan family. Hearing this, Chen Mingho's face darkened further. His eyes flashed with unwillingness, but he also knew that even if he was unwilling in his heart, there was nothing he could do. The Wanshanshan family had made him a success, but now it also became a hindrance to him. In other words, it was not only his constraints, but also his grandfather's constraints. But can they give up on the Wanshanshan family? Of course it's impossible. After all, the current main direct lineage of the Wanshanshan family is the descendants of him and his grandfather. They are all descendants with their blood flowing in their bodies. They have no way to care about their life or death. Compared to this, Jiang Tianzheng did not leave any descendants. The reason why he protected the royal family of Jianglan Divine Kingdom was simply because it was the headquarters of his Jiang family. It would be far less difficult for Jiang Tianzheng to give up on the Jiang family than it would be for them to give up on the Wanshanshan family. This is also the reason why Jiang Tianzheng is still strong in front of his grandfather. If Jiang Tianzheng is really angered, Jiang Tianzheng can knock the table off. Grandpa, since Duan Lingtian knew that we would cause trouble for him and left, I'm afraid it won't be easy to find him next. I feel like a knot in my throat is at the thought of such a person contending with me, Chen Mingho said in a reluctant tone. Chen Jiuxiao sighed. There is nothing we can do now. We can only take one step at a time. Duan Lingtian, since he has entered the Hadao realm, he shouldn't hide directly. Let's pay more attention to the news about him. Once confirm his whereabouts and well take action. That's all it can do. Chen Mingho nodded, his eyes full of unwillingness. Although Jiang Tianzheng, Yongye Divine Monk, and Zhou Qingchuan all said that even if their close relatives stayed in the capital of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, the two Hadao of the Wanshanshan family would not be able to take action against them, Duan Lingtian was still worried. So, he took everyone away. They were placed in a small country that looked like a paradise, located further north of the endless sword territory to the north of Jianglan Divine Kingdom. With Yu Shao's invincible strength in this small country, he was able to protect his loved ones. Nowadays, those who stay in Duan Mansion of Jianglan Divine Kingdom are basically people who have fled to the Divine Land World from the 10,000 realms and the lands outside the boundary to seek refuge with Duan Lingtian. The people over there, headed by Zhaoani, are in charge of Duan Mansion and continue to receive old friends from Wanjie and beyond. It is impossible to withdraw. After all, Duan Lingtian still has many relatives and friends who have not been found. For example, there is no news about his son Duan Yintian, and it is not known where he has wandered in the world of gods and earth. When his wife Li rows secretly, he often sheds tears for this, and Duan Lingtian couldn't help but feel heavy every time he saw this. However, his mentality is relatively good, and he feels that he has entered the Hadao realm. As long as his son is still alive, once he hears his name, he will definitely travel thousands of miles to the capital of Jianglan Divine Kingdom and return to Duan Mansion. He'll leave this to you. After settling his relatives and friends, Duan Lingtian said hello to Yu Shao and then left. Next, he wants to find the new owner of the creation chart. Of course, he didn't tell anyone about this. Even Yu Shao didn't know what he was going to do. He just thought that he was going to go out and make a name for himself in the entire divine world, so as to find those old friends who were living abroad. He is still injured, so this is a good opportunity for me. It would be perfect if I could kill him and get the creation life chart in my hand. Following the breath of the creation life chart he sensed after entering the Hadao realm, Duan Lingtian followed it all the way, thinking next, when you meet the current owner of the creation chart, you will definitely have to have a fierce battle, otherwise it will be difficult to conquer the creation. The natal chart is snatched. The opponent was injured, so he was very sure of defeating him, but it was very difficult to kill him. Even if the opponent's injury has not healed, he is still a genuine Hadao realm powerhouse, and he was even more powerful in the Hadao realm in his heyday before the injury than he is now. Chapter 4691. The Sea of Storms and Thunder is one of the many dangerous places in the world of gods and earth. Storms rage here all year round, thunder is entangled, and there are many dangers. The terrifying power of nature makes even ordinary Taoists dare not get involved easily. At this time, in the center of the storm thunder sea, deep in the vast sea, there was a cave hidden under the sea. The cave is simple, with only a stone platform inside. At this time, sitting on the stone platform was a middle-aged man wearing a dark blue robe, with a thin body and ordinary appearance, but with a pair of bright eyes. In his hand, he was holding a strange disc. There is something empty on it. The shadow flickers like a holographic projection, looking mysterious and unpredictable. Finally, the world inside has been stabilized again. Yu Luaha breathed a sigh of relief, his eyes flashing. Next, I will also be able to quickly recover from my injuries with the help of some creatures in the creation life chart. With my further attainments in the way of living sacrifice now, I no longer need to be as timid as before. While muttering to himself, Yu Luaha's eyes showed a bit of coldness. In the past, because his attainments in the way of life sacrifice were still shallow, after he obtained the creation life chart and constructed the world inside, in order to prevent the creatures inside from getting out of control, he set many restrictions for them. In the end, the last line of defense is the forbidden tribulation. With the taboo ring guarding the door, no matter how evil the creatures in the world of creation are, they can only reach the 6th level at most and cannot escape his control. Otherwise, once a large number of existences above the 7th level appear, it will be difficult to control him based on his attainments in the path of living sacrifice at that time. After all, his attainments in that path are still far away from the previous attainments of the old master of the path of living sacrifice. There is a long way to go. This creation chart is really a divine thing. Even I, who is in the Hadao realm, can't ignore its rules without destroying it or the world created on it. Although he, Yu Luaha, is the new owner of this creation life chart, before he masters the way of life sacrifice to a certain extent, he can also construct the world based on it, but he also needs to follow some of its rules. For example, there is no way to directly wipe out all life in the world of the creation chart. You can only spend some money and take advantage of the loopholes in the rules. For example, the Tower of Babel a few years ago was a platform he built to harvest resources. As long as the creatures in the creation life chart world enter it, he can use it to harvest those creatures. Last time the creation chart was damaged, not only a large number of living beings died, but also a large number of living beings wandered to all parts of the divine land. Thinking of what happened last time, Yu Luaha couldn't help but feel a pain in his body. If his whereabouts had not been exposed and he was surrounded and killed by a group of Hadao realm experts, he would not have been so passive. Not only was the creation chart damaged, but he himself was also seriously injured. What a pity. It's not easy for some high-quality materials to appear, but basically they all end up in the world of gods and earth. Thinking of the qualifications that he was interested in that could reach the 7th level or above, even though he had had many headaches, it did not affect Yu Luaha's current feeling of disappointment. Suddenly, Yu Luaha's consciousness was shaken, and his expression changed instantly. Not good dash. Someone from the Hadao realm is here. Yu Luaha never expected that he had been hiding for many years, even though this place was in a secluded location, and he didn't go out to show off. Why would someone from the Hadao realm come here to chase him? Moreover, it came directly towards him. Call out. A terrifying and shocking sword light descended from the sea, and it seemed to split the entire sea into two in an instant. The terrible pressure of the deep sea seems insignificant in front of this sword light, as if it is not worth mentioning, and its impact on it is almost non-existent. Boom. There was a loud noise, but it was Uluaha who evacuated the cave first, avoiding the terrifying sword light. At the same time, his face became extremely solemn. Infinite Sword Dao? Is this Chen Mingho from the Wanshanshan family? Thinking of Chen Mingho, Uluaha's eyes couldn't help but reveal some fear. Before he was injured, he really didn't take Chen Mingho's Hadao realm seriously, because the other party was not his opponent. And there is nothing that the other party can fear than the other Wanshanshan family's Hadao behind him, Chen Jiuxiao. Chen Jiuxiao is one of the few superpowers in the world of gods and earth who combines the three realms. His strength is much stronger than what he was in his heyday. Last time, Chen Mingho was among those who surrounded and killed him, including Chen Jiuxiao. Chen Mingho is here. 9 times out of 10, Chen Jiuxiao is coming too. Without any hesitation, Uluaha's first thought was to escape. He didn't even intend to fight with the opponent. He showed amazing speed in the deep sea, constantly flashing, and however, many underwater creatures were knocked away by him. One by one turned into powder under the impact of the extremely terrifying force. The deep sea is turbulent, and the violent vibrations caused by the terrifying power are like the scythe of death, harvesting all the deep-sea creatures in a large area around it. The response is quick. The power around him was shaking brightly, like a young man enveloped by a huge sword light, rushing into the deep sea, chasing Uluaha at a lightning speed, with a light in his eyes. This person is naturally not Chen Mingho. Nowadays, in the world of gods and earth, in the Hadao realm where the infinite way and swordsmanship can be successfully combined, in addition to Chen Mingho, there is another Duan Lingtian. Of course, Uluaha has been hiding here, and naturally he has not received any news about Duan Lingshan's breakthrough and promotion to Hadao. Duan Lingtian continued to chase Uluo He. Seeing that the distance between the two was getting closer and closer at a slow speed, an extremely hot luster rose in his eyes, and the creation chart was in sight. At the same time, he also looked at the back of the figure he was following. This person should be the new owner of the creation chart, Uluaha. When Duan Lingtian was chasing Uluaha, Uluaha soon discovered that there was only one person behind him. His unfolded consciousness covered a large area of the nearby sea, and no second person was found. It's really true that a tiger is bullied by a dog. If I were in my heyday, Chen Mingho would not have the courage to chase me. Uluaha couldn't help but laugh at himself. The last time he managed to escape from so many Hadao level attacks was because he used the life-saving means at the bottom of the box. Now, he no longer has those life-saving means to rely on. Therefore, even if he faced Chen Mingho's level of Hadao, he knew that he would be in danger this time. The heavenly words that appeared in the world and outside the world in the past were created by you specially, right? Seeing that he was about to catch up with Uluaha, Duan Lingtian asked with interest. He also didn't expect that one day he would still have to hunt down Tiandao. Chapter 4692. In the abyss-like sea area, storms shook and thunder flashed. The sea water, which was shaking like boiling water, was suddenly rushed out of a channel rising into the sky by a swift figure. Uluaha ran out with an ugly expression. In his opinion, his chance of survival lay in the sea. In the deep sea of this sea of storms and thunder, storms are relatively calm. The most terrifying storms and thunders are above the sea. As long as he breaks out of the sea, even if the storm outside is difficult to stop the opponent, the other party wants to accurately attack. It's not that easy to keep an eye on him, because the storm outside will not only affect the field of vision, but even affect the spiritual consciousness to a certain extent. His consciousness was affected, and it was not easy for the other party to target him. Damn dash! Chen Mingho dares to chase me alone. Uluaha looked aggrieved. He is also a famous figure in the world of gods and earth. The last time he faced many Hadao who joined forces, The people in the world of gods and earth, it seemed that he was destined to die. The group of Hadao who surrounded and killed him also felt the same way, but it was too late. But he escaped from death. In that battle, he escaped successfully at the cost of serious injuries to himself and damage to his birth chart, and at the same time, he shocked the entire world of gods and earth. It can be said that after that battle, although he was injured and in physical pain, his heart was happy. After all, he, Uluaha, was the first to escape from the alliance of the top Hadao in the world of gods and earth. For example, the old master of the creation life chart in the past was slaughtered when faced with a siege, and his body and soul disappeared. The fact that he was able to do this in Luo, he undoubtedly shows that he is stronger than the old master of the creation chart. Although his current attainments in the way of living sacrifice are not as good as those of the other party, his reputation in the world of gods and earth is already greater than that of the other party. As for the way of living sacrifice, as long as he can survive well, as long as he is given time, he will be able to rely on it sooner or later. Creation, the horoscope, takes it a step further. Not only does he need to understand the way of living sacrifice to the 9th level, but he also needs to integrate the way of living sacrifice into the 2 ways that he originally combined. As long as the 3 paths are completed, looking at the entire world of gods and earth, he really has nothing to fear. Even if he faced the last siege, he would still have enough strength to retreat calmly, and he would not need to rely on any special means of escape. Recently, Uluaha has been hiding in the depths of this sea of storms and thunder, preparing to recuperate from his injuries while repairing the creation life chart, and then participate in the way of life sacrifice, and then continue his unfinished feat. He is already looking forward to the scene in the future when the 3 of them will combine to traverse the world of gods and earth. When the time comes, no one can kill him. But now, he is being chased, or by someone weaker than himself. How can this make him not feel aggrieved or depressed now? Wrong. Suddenly, Uluaha heard the sound coming from behind and felt something was wrong. The heavenly words that appeared in the world and outside the world in the past were created by you specially, right? Such a sentence, if it were Chen Mingho's words, would seem a bit abrupt. This Chen Mingho is not from Wanjia, or the land beyond the boundary. Of course, Chen Mingho may be able to learn about everything that happened there, including the so-called Tiandao script, through the people left behind in the world of the gods and the world outside the world, but the other party will definitely not take it seriously, let alone bring it up at this critical moment. Uluaha subconsciously turned his head slightly and saw clearly the face of the pursuer at a glance. After all, he had forced a passage out of the storm and thunder sea, and the other party was also in this passage with him. Without the influence of the special environment of the storm and thunder sea, he could clearly see the other party's appearance. Duanling Tian. With just one glance, Uluaha recognized the person who was chasing him. He was a celebrity in the creation world. He was also an invincible existence in the creation world. He was also the one who was fighting against him. His master was the first to break his destiny in the creation of the world, the blockade within Pan-world. Through the creation chart, he could actually see everything inside easily. It's just that due to some rules and restrictions in the creation life chart world, even if he is the owner of the creation life chart, he cannot directly intervene in the life and death of the people in it, unless he allows everyone in it to be buried with him. However, it was naturally impossible for him to do that. In his eyes, all the living beings in the creation world are the material that he has raised in it. He needs to use them in practicing the way of life sacrifice, so naturally it is impossible to destroy them. After all, once they are destroyed, the creation chart will become useless and meaningless. Of course, there is another way, which is to lure the other party out of the creation life chart world. But once the channel is opened, a new entry and exit of the creation life chart will be exposed in the world of gods and earth, and the traces will be exposed. Once he was guarded by the backhand arranged by those powerful people in the world of gods and earth, he would have no way to get close. Just like the multiple entrances that connect the world of creation and life to the world of gods and earth, although he knew where he was in the world of gods and earth, he did not dare to get close, because once he got close, he would expose himself. Those original entrances and exits were not made by him, nor by the old owner of the creation chart. but by several people who obtained the disintegrated creation chart after the old owner of the creation chart died. The top power in the world of gods and earth, it was developed with great effort. It is precisely because of this that with the death of the old owner of the creation life chart, the life before the historical separation, such as the old man Wukong who died in the creation life chart, did not know the world they were in. What's the mystery? The entrance leads to the mysterious world. Only Duan Lingtian and other beings who are in the creation world after the historical separation can have access to the 9 entrances. How can it be? He actually joined forces? Yu Luaha only felt a numbness in his scalp. He never expected that Duan Lingtian would join forces. How long had it been? From the last serious injury to now, less than 100 years have passed, and he remembered very clearly that decades ago, although Duan Lingtian had entered the 8th level of the most powerful, that is, the 8th level of the Tao, he had only entered it for the first time. In just a few decades, Ling Tianrua had only been promoted to the 9th level of the Tao. Although he was equally shocked, he could still reluctantly accept it. But now, during this period, Ling Tian directly crossed the 9th level of the Tao and entered the He Tao, Hadao, who among the people in the world of gods and earth does not know that it is difficult to follow the path and reach the sky. This period of time, Ling Tian, a life from the creation life chart world, actually merged with the Tao? No wonder he can track me. Damn it. He is a life born in the world of creation life plan. Before he was promoted to He Tao, he could not communicate with the power of He Tao and could not detect the breath of creation life plan. But now he has stepped into He Tao. The power of Ha Tao is overwhelming, and the temple unexpectedly, he would naturally be able to detect the breath of the creation life chart that he could not detect before. Seeing Duan Lingtian getting closer and closer, Yu Luaha felt a little desperate. Could it be that he, the master of the creation chart, was going to die at the hands of a being who in the past was just a mere material in his eyes? He is not willing to give in. No matter how talented Duan Lingtian is, even if he stepped into the 7th level under his nose in the past, in his eyes, the other party is still qualified and he has never looked at the other party. But now, less than 100 years have passed since the last time the creation chart was exposed and he was besieged and killed. The qualifications he once regarded as his own have actually caught up with him and entered the world of gods and earth. The sealing cultivation realm, the Hadao realm. Chapter 4693. Duan Lingtian took action. Call out. The deep sea above the head shook, and the rolling power of the infinite swordsmanship swept down from the horizon, like a stream of stars, perfectly integrated with the sword wielded by Duan Lingtian, showing extremely terrifying power, as if the sword is slashed out, it can kill everything. The sword light roared in all directions, slashing at Yuluo who was running for his life in front. Duan Lingshan's eyes were solemn, with a bit of expectation. As long as he kills Yuluaha, he can get the creation chart. The creation chart is related to his former hometown, the land outside the world, and the world. Who would be willing to leave their hometown if they could return to their hometown? He wanted the creation life chart and had no intention of practicing the way of life sacrifice. He just wanted to see if his hometown was still there. If it was still fragmented, was there a way to repair it through the creation life chart? It stands to reason that there is a high probability that it can be repaired. After all, whether it is the 10,000 worlds or the land outside the world, it is the world opened up by the creation life chart. Duan Lingtian, if I hadn't been injured, how could I have allowed you to be so presumptuous? Yu Luaha shouted angrily, his voice filled with unwillingness, but he did not sit still and wait for death. He turned around and struck out like lightning, and a bright sword light roared out to meet him. With the power of Hadao that also fell from the sky and broke through the deep sea, he wanted to fight with Duan Lingtian competes. In an instant, two terrifying forces collided with each other as the swords intersected, making an earth-shattering noise. The aftermath of the terrifying power raged, even evaporating the water in this area of the sea. A large vacuum area appeared. Puff dash. The sword light finally overcame the sword light. Yu Luaha, who had not fully recovered from his injuries, opened his mouth and spat out a mouthful of blood, and retreated while taking action. Duan Lingtian, on the other hand, is taking advantage of the victory to pursue it. At the same time, Chen Minghe went to Jianglan Divine Kingdom with his grandfather and failed to capture Duan Lingtian. Not long after returning to the Wanshan family, he felt the vibration of the power of Ha Dao in the sky. It was obvious that someone was taking action and was using the infinite sword he had combined. The power of Tao. Looking at the entire world of gods and earth, before Duan Lingtian appeared, he was the only one who enjoyed this path, and no other person could share the infinite sword path. That is to say, Duan Lingtian, an otherworldly creature from the world of creation lifespan, didn't understand anything, yet he had no worries about the infinite sword Dao, which made him passive for a time, and the power of the He Dao was divided, which also meant that his strength will be subject to influence. It would be fine if the other party acted honestly, but if the other party forced too much Ha Dao power when he took action, it would undoubtedly affect his performance. The power of He Dao is so vibrating. Duan Lingtian, are you fighting with someone? In terms of familiarity with the power of infinite sword Dao, throughout the entire world of gods and earth, no one can compare with Chen Minghe, even if he just succeeded in He Dao of infinite sword Dao. Duan Lingtian did the same thing not long after. After all, Chen Minghe had already mastered the infinite swordsmanship, have enjoyed this path exclusively for many years. Now, with this abnormal movement, he can naturally see the source of the abnormal movement. The power of Ha Dao is so turbulent, he is definitely fighting with other Ha Dao realms. If he just breaks into the Tao, there is no need to use so much power of Ha Dao. It was not difficult for Chen Minghe to confirm this. After confirming, he narrowed his eyes, a cold light flashed, and at the same time, a sneer appeared at the corner of his mouth. Avoiding me, right? You can hide for a while, but you can hide for a lifetime? Just like now, do you want to enjoy the power of Ha Dao? Dream. Chen Minghe immediately left the Wanshan family and found a secluded place. With full firepower, he tried his best to use the power of infinite swordsmanship to forcibly away the power of Ha Dao that had been borrowed by Duan Lingtian. Phew. And this also directly caused the power of Duan Lingshan's shots to drop sharply. Yu Luaha naturally discovered such an obvious change in the decline of Hideo's power. He had already had the will to die because he was injured and was no match for Duan Lingtian. But I didn't expect that it would take a turn. Has the power of infinite swordsmanship been diverted? After seeing this, Yu Luaha couldn't help laughing. Duan Lingtian, it seems that the sky will not stop me today. You are not the only one who can master this infinite sword power in this generation. It seems that Chen Minghe from the Wanshan family intends to help me. Next time we meet, I must thank him. When Duan Lingtian was chasing him, he thought it was Chen Minghe from the Wanshan family because Chen Minghe combined the infinite way and the way of the sword, but later he found out that it was Chen Minghe from the Wanshan sect. Duan Lingtian actually joined forces with Chen Minghe in the way of conflict when Duan Lingtian took action. He didn't think that if Chen Minghe took action at the same time and snatched the power of Ha Dao, it would affect Duan Lingshan's performance. But just think about it. Because, in his opinion, Chen Minghe is unlikely to offend Duan Lingtian so blatantly. After all, this time he can steal Duan Lingshan's power of harmony, but next time he fights with others, Duan Lingtian can definitely take revenge. Go. When is the time for retribution? In this case, both parties usually compromise with each other. However, what he didn't expect was that Chen Minghe actually took action. Moreover, looking at this posture, it is obvious that he is robbing the power of Ha Dao without any reservation. Duan Lingtian, as long as you don't conform to the third path, it will be difficult to kill me, unless Chen Minghe doesn't fight with you. However, judging from the current situation, Chen Minghe must have a grudge against you for joining the infinite sword path. Otherwise, it would not be possible to the power of Ha Dao at such a critical moment. When I regain my strength, even if Chen Minghe doesn't fight with you, don't even think about killing me. Haha. Yu Luaha's figure turned into a blade of light, broke out of the sea, and instantly disappeared into the storm and thunder, gradually drifting away. When Duan Lingshan's Ha Dao power was forcibly snatched away by Chen Minghe, he was about to kill Yu Luaha successfully, but in the end, He missed a move, and Yu Luaha took the opportunity to escape from Duan Lingshan's lock with the cover of Storm Thunder. Again, in addition, Chen Mingho continues to the power of Hadao, and it is no longer realistic for him to kill Yu Luaha. Continuing the pursuit, it was confirmed that Yu Luaha was faster than him, and the distance became wider and wider. Duan Lingtian did not continue the pursuit, but paused, because he knew that this time it must be a failure. We can only wait until next time to take action. Anyway, unless Yu Luaha abandons his creation life chart, he can find him. Moreover, even if Yu Luaha abandons the creation life chart, he can still find the creation life chart. It will be even better when the time comes. He can successfully obtain the creation life chart without having to fight Yu Luaha. After all, his purpose in chasing Yu Luo he was to create the life chart. Chun Mingho. Duan Lingshan's face turned gloomy and ugly when he thought of the initiator who led to his failure in chasing Yu Luo he. He didn't even offend the other party, but the other party misunderstood him like this. Damn it. At this moment, Duan Lingshan's eyes also pulsed with murderous intent that could not be concealed. Chapter 4694. Although Yu Luaha temporarily escaped, Duan Lingshan's sense of the creation life chart is still there. No matter where he escapes to the ends of the world, as long as he is unwilling to abandon the creation life chart, Duan Lingtian can easily find him. Therefore, there is no situation where Yu Luaha will throw away Duan Lingtian. The reason why Duan Lingtian stopped and did not continue to pursue him was because as long as Chen Mingho kept acting as a stirring stick when he took action, robbing the combined power of infinite sword Dao, he would not be able to capture Yu Luo. There is little point in continuing to pursue it. When he used the power of the infinite swordsmanship, I had a clear reaction. I guess when I used the power of the infinite swordsmanship, he who also used the infinite swordsmanship also had the same reaction. Otherwise, it would be impossible for me to step in when I attack Luo He and plunder the power of Hadao, thus causing my strength to plummet. Standing in the sky above the sea of storms and thunder, Duan Lingtian looked gloomy and stared straight in one direction. That was where Hadao Jiang Tianjing of Jianglan Divine Kingdom told him before, where the Wanshan Chung clan was located. The Qin family of Wanshan is a Shuanghe Tao. One of them, Hadao, is a being who combines three ways. He stands on the top of the pyramid in the world of gods and earth, overlooking the common people. It's really unpleasant, but also helpless. Duan Lingtian grinded his teeth slightly and sighed secretly in his heart, with a hint of unwillingness shining deep in his eyes. The creation chart was right in front of him, but because of Chen Mingho's blockage, he could only let it go. Now, there were two paths before him. The first way is for him to continue to improve his strength, such as integrating the third path with infinite swordsmanship and combining the three paths into one, becoming a strong man standing at the pinnacle of the world of gods and earth, comparable to Wanshan Chen's Hadao who combined the three paths. The kind of environment. At that time, the power of Hadao he masters will no longer be the power of infinite swordsmanship. No one can rob him of his power. His strength is not weaker than that of the old monster from the Wanshan Chen sect's three paths. At that time, the creation chart will be at your fingertips. However, this road requires a lot of waiting for him. After all, the combination of three roads into one is far more difficult than the combination of two roads into one. At least for now, he has no clue. The previous union of the two realms was also due to a trip to the Temple of the Sea of Bitterness, where I had an epiphany, and that state was something that can only be encountered but cannot be sought. It was also based on that epiphany at that time that the Sea of Bitterness was added to it. Temple Eternal Night Monk with his guidance and observation of the Hadao monument. He took that step and was promoted to Hadao in a short period of time. As for the second way, it is simple and crude. Looking for a helper, he is responsible for locking Yu Luo He's position, and the other party joins forces with him to deal with Yu Luo He and seize the creation life chart. However, there is a problem. Who doesn't want the creation chart? Will the helper he is looking for not be tempted? Even if he is familiar with the Hadao of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, the Hadao of Kuhai Temple, or even the Hadao of Qionghai Divine Island, he dare not trust them. Even if they say that they are wrong about the creation chart, he will only thought they were talking its nonsense. The purpose is to let him lead the way to find the creation chart. Just like what the CEO of a large company said in an interview when he was still on Earth in his previous life. I never touch money. I have no interest in money. After all, you still have to rely on yourself. Now, unless one of his relatives and friends appears in the Hadao realm, he cannot trust anyone. If he wants to seize the creation life chart, he can still only rely on himself. The world of Divine Land is so big that although it cannot be said to be boundless, it would be difficult for ordinary people to travel all over it. In a remote corner of the Divine Land world, behind a dangerous sea area, there is an isolated island with rich mineral deposits, which is controlled by a nearby force with a fourth level of Dao realm. Here, a group of mining slaves are imprisoned. After they were captured, they have been mining here and being squeezed for endless labor. Niantian, you said you were miserable enough. You finally got freed from the creation life chart world and escaped being annihilated by the way of life sacrifice. In the blink of an eye, you were sent here by the Chongshan League to supervise the miners. Also restricted freedom. In the isolated island, a young man with a strong build and a feminine face shook his head and said to another young man who was tall and impressive. Hearing his companion's words, Duan Yintian smiled bitterly. I can't help it. The reputation of the daughter of Vice Leader Gua of the Chongshan Alliance is really, I really can't chew it up. If my father knew that I found him such a daughter-in-law, then why don't you peel off my skin? Since he was exiled from the 10,000 realms to the Divine Land world, he immediately appeared within the sphere of influence of the Chongshan Alliance. The Chongshan League is a Taoist force with a fourth level of Taoist realm. It can be regarded as a small overlord in this corner of the world of gods and earth. When he first arrived here, he naturally wanted to understand the environment he was currently in. However, in the process of getting to know him, he was attracted by the daughter of Guoqiu, the deputy leader of the Chongshan League. Guoqiu's daughter was not bad, but he had already heard about it before he was attracted by the other party. The other party's various affairs. What about 9 dragons and 1 phoenix, 2 dragons playing with phoenix? Strangely enough, the other party fell in love with him, not because she wanted him to be her male favorite, but because she wanted to get married to him. Did you say you fell in love with him at first sight? He said that he was willing to help him, and even for Mingji, the other party personally killed all his male favorites. The scene at that time makes Duan Yintian still feel numb when he thinks about it. That woman is so terrible. Not to mention her cruelty, just talking about her past, he couldn't accept it, and he didn't dare to accept it. Otherwise, if he brought such a daughter-in-law back in the future, he wouldn't be beaten by his father and mother. Originally, he was already determined to die, thinking that when the other party was angry, he would most likely kill him. But even so, he still wants to die to prove his ambition. Unexpectedly, the other party did not kill him, but sent him to this isolated island, saying that he would stay on this isolated island forever and never be able to leave. Somebody is coming. Suddenly, Duan Nianshan's expression became serious, and he reached out and pulled the young man beside him to hide. After all, they had sneaked into this area. According to the rules of the isolated island, they, the supervisors, could not be lazy. If discovered, a punishment is inevitable. It's Lord Xueping and Lord Shingon. The young man next to Duan Yintian looked at an old man and a middle-aged man passing by in the air, not far away through the obstruction in front, and said in a low voice. At this time, the sound of the two people chatting without deliberately concealing it was also conveyed in a timely manner. I heard that another powerful Hadao man has appeared in Jianglan Divine Kingdom. Is it true? A second Hadao has appeared in Jianglan Divine Kingdom? It's true. I heard that a life that wandered from the creation life chart world to our divine earth world was promoted to Hadao just a few decades after arriving in the divine earth world. It's really scary. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.